Hey, Ebony.
Hey, Lauren.
We're gonna get right into it because the interwebs are on fire. They are in fuego, as the kids say. So I'm gonna start reading it. This is under the subreddit of work. The title: "The Downside of Teams Recognition." 2 months ago, I began a new job which utilizes Teams, and that's Microsoft Teams for all you non-Microsoft people. There are about 80 employees, but many of us work between 4 or 5 offices scattered throughout the state. So we'll most likely never meet face to face. My role is that of the first contact with our customers. I then triage and transfer these calls to the direct lines of various coworkers. If I can assist, I do, and as such, I'm often emailing my, again, unknown coworkers. So spread around, don't know the coworkers, lots of email and communication that way. I also have various singular to me deadline-oriented clerical duties, so high admin. No one shares my role at this position. There is not more than one person in my role, so I don't have peers, so to speak. Over time, I've been confronted by a handful of faceless coworkers with some of the following statements. Why are you teamsing me? Which, by the way, I didn't know teams was a verb, but now it is.
Welcome to zooming is a verb.
Zooming. Okay. Why are you teamsing me? Why did I get this call? Don't call me. Don't email me. Only email me. In the future, please, yada, yada, yada. I understand that people have different communication styles, but as I am the main communicator for the company, it's a little difficult being told, don't communicate with me. The sore spot is in the delivery. Cut to modern day 2 weeks ago, a coworker gave me a Teams kudos for some random assist. Well, it felt nice. At first, all my mind could think about was, great. Now I can see all the people that hate me here not respond on this conversation. And it was true. Of the 7 people in my office, only one acknowledged the compliment. Pretty harsh when you are new and in a small office. In the entire company, maybe 6 were in agreement. Friday, I received Employee of the Month on Teams. Lots of things happening on Teams. It was a shocker. I knew the employee whose job it was to post it did it with gritted teeth, as she is a constant negative presence and consistently jams my signal no matter the task. And again, instead of feeling happy or good, I felt in fear of all the known names of haters that I knew would actively not participate. It's like the kudos from the core group of people that I share the same work ethic with meant so very little to me, while the non-written evidence of who couldn't stand me took the race. I honestly would rather have not received Employee of the Month. When it is relayed via a workplace social media platform, it results in feeling like a very unwanted popularity contest. Does anyone have a similar story to share? Lots to unpack. Where do we start?
So I kind of want to start with 1, what advice would we give the employee who's in that situation? And 2, if we could have a one-on-one with their manager on what would that look like? So how about we just go back and forth? So if we start with the employee, I really want her to examine her gremlin story, right? There's so much voice of judgment that she has for herself in that post. What are the stories you're telling yourself that help you continue to play small at the workplace, right? So capacity, I'm being a coach, apologies, is the stories we tell ourselves to make us feel safe and comfortable in where we are. And then capabilities are the skills that we need to grow into the next iteration of ourselves. Her capacity stories around self-worth, self-belonging, and how other people view her are very much through that voice of judgment, the gremlin. Her gremlin is loud. The gremlin is that internal voice that judges us all the time, that plays in our head. The things our gremlin says to us are things we would never say to ourselves out loud, or if somebody else said it to us, we'd smack them or grit our teeth because they're our parents, or not my siblings, they're my parents. And so I would just grit my teeth and be like, oh,
that's nice.
That's nice. I'm glad you shared that. Not. So that's the thing I would want to work with her on.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, what do you want to attract in more of? And where are you focusing your energy right now? Because in my world, life is a collection of awesome shit. And so even in that write-up, she's acknowledging that she is getting some positive feedback, but all of her energy is going to where it's not meeting that. And so it's created this echo chamber of people don't like me. I'm not respected here. It's a popularity contest. Like even when good things are happening, they're not seeing it through the lens of validation. And so what I would work with this client on is how do we build you up with internal validation? How do we start constructing an evaluation system of how we're showing up that's in alignment to the future version of who we want to be and what we want to take on and how we want to show up and what do we want to model out there? But if you're constantly focusing on what's not working, who doesn't like you, how things are broken, you're just going to keep recreating that same pattern. So my challenge to this person would be, what's the awesome shit that's already happened and that you want to continue to happen? And how do we continue to capture that and write that into existence going forward?
I love it. Because you and I, while similarly trained and equally credentialed, have different approaches to how we coach, right? And so I want to release the Kraken and stop you playing small by the story you tell yourself. And you want her to just refocus on there's awesome stuff happening around you. Why are you viewing it that way? Okay, so what would you work on the boss of this employee with if you were there?
Where is the boss? That's what I want to know. I've heard zero mention of like a leadership figure coming in and showing any guidance. So either they are asleep at the wheel or the employee doesn't see them as a positive source. Either way, we got a lot of work to do. And I think anytime that you rely on a technology platform to do the work that a manager or a coworker should do, which is giving people constant and consistent feedback so people know where they stand, that you're already at a disadvantage. And so all the stories get told when you have massive gaps between people and technology.
Love it. I think if I had that boss as a client and I got this in a feedback session, I would talk to them about self-awareness and self-management. Self-awareness and how are you showing up in a way that this person wants to be led? And then work on self-management in the sense that you have to do self-management around the interpersonal relationships that are happening in the workplace. And do you know how the people on your team want to be recognized and rewarded? Some people are public, some people are private, some people are a great note, some people are a big party, some people are leave a cupcake on my desk. And maybe, I always suggest to people, baseball cards. Why don't you have people on your team do baseball cards about how they like to be communicated to, rewarded, a slew of other things that can help you build a better relationship with the people who matter most, which are your teammates. And so that's what I would, if I got this as feedback in a client coaching session, I was coaching a leader, those are the things that I really would touch on.
Yeah, I think there's something to add too, is the fact that they're so spread apart. They're again relying on technology for connectivity, but there's no connection. So the fact that there's no backstory to these people, there's no linkage of understanding, you're not seeing the humanness of them. So literally you're just seeing the worst that people are coming with because they're probably stressed and overworked and everything else. And there's something that happens when you can see a bit of yourself in other people that you begin to have a little bit more compassion. So what I would recommend is how do you get these people together and have a little fun, not forced fun, but how do you start to build those bridges of connection that take it beyond relying on a technology platform?
I love it.
I see a lot, like it's a lot of laziness that's happening whenever you are relying on, we have this system, but like, what does it mean? Like if people aren't using it in the way that it's intended, you got a broken system.
Yeah, 100%. I love the part, you want connectivity, but you don't have any connection. Because what does that look like when you don't have any connection?
You just got a bunch of dots all over the place. That's it. Leave me alone.
Like, I don't want to be connected. Don't email me. Don't Teams me. Don't call me.
Only email me. Send me a telegram. It's the funny thing is like companies know what they want.
Like they don't want a telegram. They want a message in a bottle.
No, they just want to be left alone. Let's be real. Because here's
what a message in a bottle is. That's the best. I'm gonna throw this in the ocean.
It's never coming to me. Goodbye. It's coming back to you. But the interesting thing is, like, I did a whole executive forum on this, and what we found is that individual productivity has like skyrocketed with people working remotely, either in separate offices or at home, but it's killed cross-functional team communication and collaboration. And so when you have to work with people, you don't necessarily know how to make that work, and you don't know what works and how to come together. So I think we have to rethink outside of the box of like, where have we gotten lazy and used technology as a crutch? And where do we just need to roll up our sleeves and be a little bit more human and come together?
100%. By the way, because we've been working at home or hybrid for so long, they also need to realize some people have never worked in an office. Never.
Some people have never worn pants.
Are you wearing pants?
Yeah.
I'm not. I have leggings on.
Those aren't real pants.
I have on leggings.
I am wearing slippers though, because my feet are cold.
Yeah, I have leggings on. I'm like, are you wearing pants? No, I'm not wearing pants. I have leggings on. But one of the things is there's a whole level of socialization that would have happened, and also the ability to mimic other people's behaviors through observation that would have happened in a fully in office environment, versus now this new person has no one to mimic.
No. And there's no signs or signals to pick up on. So literally you are getting words, and then your interpretation becomes the tone that you absorb it at.
Right. And that's why sometimes you just need to pick up the phone and call people.
Pick up the damn phone.
Oh, just call them.
But then you know she's going to get a note, just email me.
Yes. But at some point they need to have an actual conversation so the email tone can change also in the response. So anyway, that was a great question for us to kind of review and give people a snippet of advice of what's happening in the workplace. If you like these and you're interested in more, give us that follow button, because we would love to share our advice with you.